It is Thursday morning, so that means we have another round of predictions. And taking me on and taking on the might of the leaderboard, please welcome Justin from the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes Watford podcast. How you doing, fella?
Very good, Ben. Very good.
Are you ready to take on the might of the Championship and the lovely easy task of predicting the future?
No, no, but I will give it a go.
That's tremendous. Right, we've only got 10 games this week, so I'm going to be perfectly fair to you. So we will do a points per game average. Most important question. Do you want to go first? Do you want to go second? Or would you like to rotate and take it in turns?
I'm going to let you go first, Ben.
Let's dive straight in. I don't think we've got any early kickoffs. I guess it's the 3-game week business. So we start with Blackpool v Coventry, which is jolly confusing because pre-midweek and Blackpool beating QPR 6-1, I would have been heavily on Coventry for this one. So I think Blackpool might have a little bit of momentum. We've got defensive Mick against Coventry's red-hot striker. So I think I'm going to start, as I mean to go on, in terribly boring fashion and assume that will cancel each other out in a game with under 2.5 goals. So I will go for a safe old Blackpool 1, Coventry 1. What are you saying, Justin?
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, Blackpool did have an extremely good game midweek. Let's assume they've got their tails up. I'm going to go Blackpool 1, Coventry 0.
Oh, the old Mick clean sheet. There it is. Let's move on. Now, Middlesbrough didn't have a good week. I went all in on Middlesbrough, going to be overtaking Sheffield United by the end of the weekend. That cannot happen this weekend. It may happen coming into Easter looking at the fixtures. But Preston, let me just get them up on my iPad, are actually in fairly decent form. Very good form, actually, themselves. 2, 4, 6, 7 undefeated. So I think they'll give Borough a game. I don't think they're getting any points though, Justin, but I think it'll be fairly close. Let's go for Preston to score and a 1-goal win. Let's go 2-1 Borough.
Okay. I also think Middlesbrough will win this match, but I don't think it's going to be high scoring. So I'm going to go for Middlesbrough 1, Preston 0.
In we go. Millwall versus Huddersfield. And I've got that horrible feeling of I feel far more confident predicting this one than the previous two, which means this is all going to end in tears. Huddersfield, no kind of bounce really under good old Neil Warnock. Millwall in really, really nice form. They're not going to give up many chances. It would be very cliched to go 1-0. So let's go 2-0 on the basis of not repeating myself with Millwall at home. Millwall 2, Huddersfield 0.
Okay, that's what I had written down. However,
I'm very sorry. You can double up if you want.
I don't want to double up. I think I'm going to go with. I'm still going to go with a Millwall win, but I'm going to go 2-1.
There we go. QPR versus Birmingham, which I saw described on Twitter as two bald men fighting over a comb. Surely QPR are going to have spent the entire of the last hour's training since Tuesday just defending balls into the box because they were absolutely hopeless, weren't they, against Blackpool? How did Birmingham do in midweek? Because they did have that good win against Rotherham. Oh, you saw them. Can you just give me a bit of info? Were they bad?
Yes, I was. Well,
Okay.
Yeah, they weren't great, but I think we did step it up a gear, maybe.
Well, this is good now because this is now your fault if I get this wrong. So purely on what Justin has just told me, I will back QPR to shore up shop a little bit. I don't think they're going to go from conceding 6 to a clean sheet, Justin, but I will go for, do you know what? Let's have some fun with this one. 3-1 QPR. What do you reckon?
Well, these are two teams that I have seen play recently because we've played them both in our last two matches. I think it's going to be a draw myself. So I'm going to go for 1-1. But I mean, I think on paper it should probably be a QPR win, but I'm going to go 1-1.
The unhelpful draw. Reading versus Hull. Reading have been really pants lately, haven't they? Hull kind of dropped off a little bit over the last few games. Had that good win. I suppose suppose to be fair, they've had a hard run, haven't they? West Brom, Coventry, Burnley. So my question is, have Reading been naff enough for me to assume that they're going to lose again, or can they get a point? I'm not seeing a Reading win, Justin. I'm seeing 4 straight defeats. To be fair, they've been all against playoff teams as well. Stinks of a draw, Justin. Stinks of a draw. 2-2. Go on. We'll go for a load of goals and go
You're
for a
going for a
draw.
Desmond there, are you?
I am
I've actually got a
indeed.
draw written down as well, but I don't think it's going to be quite as high scoring as that.
I don't even know why I've said that, to be honest.
I'll go 1-1.
Yeah, as soon as I said it, I thought I've just left it open for him to call 1-1 now, haven't we? So there we go. Rotherham versus Cardiff. Right. Now, this is typical Championship. I got to last week thinking, right, I've definitely got Rotherham wrong. They're going to stay up. I've predicted them to go down. They've already got pretty much enough points on the board. They only need another couple of wins. So I predicted them to win. Obviously, they've lost their 2 games since I did that. So look, maybe the Rotherham fans will actually. People weirdly think whatever I predict, the opposite is going to happen. Some kind of weird coping mechanism. But what you're going to do? So I will, for that reason, back against Rotherham. I think Sabri's got Cardiff moving quite nicely. Little gap. 4 points. It was 6, wasn't it? Cardiff losing midweek. They drew against West Brom. They're playing well, Justin. 1-0 or 2-0? 1-0 or 2-0? 2-0. Rotherham 0, Cardiff 2.
Well, I've kind of gone for the same as you, actually. I've written down a Cardiff win, but again, not as many goals as you. So I'm going to go Rotherham 0, Cardiff 1.
Yeah, it makes sense. Stoke versus Norwich. Now, I don't know whether it's being an Ipswich fan that makes me not want to back against Norwich, kind of self-preservation thing. But I think Stoke haven't looked bad, have they, recently? I know we've had many, many false dawns in Stoke's few years in the Championship, but 5-1 at Sunderland, 3-2 against Blackburn, good draw against Middlesbrough, who've been beating everybody, frankly. So I am going to do something I don't do very often. I'm going to back against Norwich. Of course, Alex Neil used to manage Norwich, didn't he? I think Norwich will score. So I will go for a 2-1 home win to Stoke.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of equal form between them at the moment. I also think Stoke are going to win. I feel like I'm copying you a little bit each time, but this is genuinely what I've got written down.
No.
So I've actually got...
Great minds think alike,
we'll see
Justin.
when the scores come out.
Yeah, we absolutely will. Yeah.
So I've actually got written down that Stoke 1, Norwich 0.
Okay. Moving on. Sunderland versus pesky old Luton for you, Justin, because they're blooming good at the moment, Luton. 3 straight wins. And Sheffield United, excuse me, did go to Sunderland and win last night. Maybe is it an extra day's rest? No, Luton played as well last night. Luton are the best away team in the league. This all stinks of an away win, Justin. I know you're gonna your podcast subscribers are not going to be happy with you calling it, so I'll make life easier. I'll start off and call a Luton win, so we got that covered. Should we go for the classic Nathan Jones 0-1? No. 3-1 Luton to win at Sunderland. Open game and the Hatters to win. Justin, pay homage to the best away team in the division, sir.
This really hurts. I mean, their away form is very, very good. It also hurts that it's one of our ex-managers that are leading them to this form. I am going to get flack from the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes listeners, but I think it is going to be an away win. I've got written down Sunderland 0, Luton 2.
Oh, there you go. It's good. It takes a strong person to show honesty. Well, at least now we have your lot, Watford versus bottom of the table Wigan at home. Surely, Justin, famous last words, you can't mess this one up. Wigan have tightened up a bit at the back under Sean Maloney, but Watford buoyed by a midweek win. We say it every week. On paper, they should have quality to beat most teams in the division. So I've got to go for a Watford win. Shall I go heavy just to get you all excited? 3-0 Watford. There you go.
Well, I'll take that, obviously.
I'm damn sure you
take
would.
that. Yeah, I mean, we've only had 2 games under Chris Wilder so far. The first one was a defeat to QPR away, and then we beat Birmingham 3-0 on Tuesday. I would like to think that there's going to be some momentum going into this game. So I am going to go for. Also, I've spoken to a Wigan podcast this week, and they're not very confident at all. I think their defence, he was saying that they've got one defender at the moment. So I'm going to go with a Watford win, and I'm going to go 2-0. I think our defence is pretty good at the moment. We're not shipping in too many goals. So Watford 2, Wigan 0.
And finally, Swansea versus Bristol City. And whatever kind of, I always get these wrong, 7-side M4. I know one or other is, but so it's a derby of sorts across the border. Swansea stink a bit at the moment, don't they? And I kind of want to like Bristol City because I like the young players, and obviously brought Semenyo through and sold him, and now Scott has been tearing it up, Conway, etc. Honestly, I don't frankly trust either team here. If Bristol City were at home, I'd be on them heavy, but they're not. Swansea will score. It's either going to be a scoring draw or a slight away win. I'll go for the slight away win, and because I haven't had a silly one, should we go 3-2 Bristol City just for the sheer hell of it? Swansea 2, Bristol City 3. How about that, Justin?
That sounds like an exciting match for the neutral. I don't know. I mean, Swansea's form isn't very good, like you said. Bristol City's isn't much better. I've actually got written down Swansea 0, Bristol City 1, although I like the sound of your game more because it sounds more exciting.
And I'm sure Sky TV, because this one's on Sunday, will like the sound of my game a little bit more as well. But hey ho. Right, Justin, that is the size of it. Now, the leaderboard, Gab is in there at 10. We've got Chris, Sani, another Justin, and Vize on 12. Joby's come in on 13. And now you have a nice little gap between the executive bunch at the top. Sam Parkin and Hugh Rosencroft on 19. Matt, I'm now calling him Matt, I'm good at everything Holland, on 20 in the lead. Where do you see yourself placing? Can you beat ex-Watford man Joby McAnuff?
Well, we've actually got a predictions league on our podcast, and there are a lot of points available. And I am leading it on 17. I think the maximum points we could have got is something like 300. So predictions isn't really my thing. So I would like to think I'm going to be coming near Joby McAnuff. Yeah, it'd be nice to be above Joby as he played for Watford. Yeah. But do you want to predict how many points I'm going to get? No.
No. There we go. We'll see how Justin gets on in next week's show. We'll pop up the leaderboard. Justin, thank you for joining me. Justin is going to be having a chat with us a bit about Potso's, Watford, multi-club, multi-managers, and fun and games over the past decade. Over on Patreon, you can subscribe via www.patreon.com/Benjamin Bloom, and do head over for Justin's content on the Do Not Scratch Your Eyes podcast.